There is a difference between supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Supervised learning is when the input and output are known or labeled, and uh, it needs human interaction to label them. So let's say you have an image, and this image is to be labeled before it needs to be labeled as a cat before it goes into the machine learning algorithm. So that next time you insert an image, it would compare it to this image that you have already labeled as a cat. So you insert an image unknown, but you have already taught the machine learning that an image that looks like this one should be a cat. It would automatically label it as a cat since you have already labeled it and you have taught the algorithm or the model that an image looks like this is a cat. If you have labeled the image as a dog, also another image that looks like a dog has a dog image, it has a dog in it, it should also recognize it as a dog. So it requires human intervention to label the input and the output, and the algorithm automatically would recognize any image. So another way, when you have an input and you want to the algorithm or the model to recognize it as a 0 or 1. That's another way of classifying the input, classifying the output based on the input. The other way is the unsupervised learning, and its main idea is to group data together based on similarities. Before we get into this, we should also remember that 0 and 1 can use logistic regression. Many uses logistic regression for that purpose. So by grouping data together based on similarities, if you have a big group of data and it's not a classification problem, what can be done is these data can be grouped based on similarities in clusters, which is called clustering, or association, which basically means that certain fields are associated with each other for the output, for the output to be the target output. They are associated together for a specific target output. There is also dimensional reduction. Basically, I'm mainly used with images to reduce the dimension or the fields without affecting the quality.